What is up, Edison duelists? This is Dionysus, aka Young Puds, coming at you guys with some more shameless, hypebeast GigaVise content. Now, folks, I know I am normally such a ray of sunshine, a beacon of positivity, a paragon of just overwhelmingly, cheer and joy, but you might notice we've got the despair withered Wojak here on our video today, and that is because it has been a ladder reset. And I gotta say, folks, in the past, sometimes this first day of laddering, I'm like, oh, nice, this is really lighting a fire under me. But what can I say, folks? Today, it's just been a slog. I've played 6 matches, and we've gotten 6 wins, but boy, let's just jump into them, and I'll show you what we mean. So this is our first match, very first match of the new ranked season, and we had a very nice opponent here, and we even opened a pretty good hand. Banishing a Lonefire will set a Raigeki break. What does our opponent do? He summons Thunder King. So off to a good start. We're going to pick up another Mark of the Rose. We'll just have to take another 1900, and then he's going to set his whole hand of 5. So now I'm feeling like, wow, this giant Trunade is not going to be so good, and of course it is going to get stopped by the Solemn Judgment. So now we have little choice but to go ahead and play into the back row. Fortunately, our Raigeki break is going to be able to answer the Royal Oppression, so we can go Lonefire into Gigaplant. Big surprise here, this is going to get hit with that bottomless trap hole. We'll go ahead and try and steal the Thunder King. Just, against these kind of stun decks, you just have to put pressure on them. And unfortunately, that set is going to be a Morphing Jar that I'm going to run right into, and I have to toss out my very nice hand. And we do pick up something pretty good. Seeing the Dust Shoot after resolving Morphing Jar is always nice. And we're going to upstart for not 1, but 2 Miracle Fertilizers and another Supervise. So we've definitely got some counterplay to go for. We just need our opponent to not have, some big problematic outs. So we do flip the Dust Shoot. Obviously, we're going to get rid of Banisher of the Radiance. I don't want to see that card. I don't want to smell that card. I don't want to hear that card. I don't want that card anywhere near me. You know what I mean? So he's going to go ahead and drop a Breaker, swing in for almost game damage, and then clear our Mark of the Rose. I'm feeling like, oh boy, off to a bad start this season. We're going to go ahead and use the Miracle Fertilizer right away. Doesn't look like he has anything to stop that. So we're going to go for Lonefire Blossom, and now I know he has a Bottomless. I feel like, we saw the Bottomless, we saw the Deep Prison. It would make sense to me, the read I have in this situation is that he's already got some battle tricks with these 2 sets. Of course, we can see it's a Trapstone and a Smashing Ground. They're just bluffs, but I'm assuming they're battle tricks, so I'm guessing that the 1 card he did set is going to be the Bottomless. So I'm going to go ahead and try and bait that out right away, summoning the Titanial, and now we can use the second Fertilizer to go into Gigaplant. And we're going to do just that. So we get the Gigaplant up, and then I'm very surprised that's going to stick. So now we'll go ahead and use Supervise to bring back the Lonefire Blossom. This time we're going to go for Nettles, and I'm going to go for a Stardust Dragon here. I'm expecting the Thunder King to just negate it, and I get the Gigaplant back, but he actually lets the Stardust Dragon stick around, which, again, very surprised he made that choice. But we are going to now use the Hidden Armory to get back that Supervise from our graveyard. You can do that under Thunder King because it's getting it from the graveyard. That is an option. We just would not be able to search for an equip. And then now, at this time, I'm going to go ahead and make another Synchro. I'm going to go for the Black Brute Drago, and he's also going to let that go through. So we're going to get the Gigaplant back. And now we're attacking over the Thunder King. I don't know why he didn't negate one of these. Maybe he thinks that Stardust can stomp Thunder King. Not really sure here. This is just the kind of stuff you run into on day 1 of the ladder. So here our opponent's going to drop the Cyber Dragon and drop the Breaker, and then set 2 cards. So we know that one of them is going to be the Deep Prison that we're going to have to deal with. We do pick up another Miracle Fertilizer, which is fantastic. I'm not scared of Torrential Tribute because we do have Stardust on the field. So we're going to summon out the Lonefire Blossom, and he's going to chain Macrocosmos. So I'm not going to do anything else. I don't want my second Lonefire banished. That just doesn't sound good to me. I don't want to have to use the Stardust if I don't have to. He's going to Deep Prison our Black Brute Drago. I'm going to go ahead and swing again with both of my monsters. I want his field cleared. And, our attacks went through last turn. I feel like if he had the Deep Prison or something, he probably would have used it. And, you know, if he wants to mirror force and force us to negate with the Stardust, you know, so be it. Whatever. We'll handle it. Speaking of mirror force, he does pick up that up right now. He is going to go ahead and smash and ground. So we're going to lose our Stardust Dragon. No point in negating because it would just get banished either way. So it's not coming back. So he is going to set another one. We're going to draw a Solemn Judgment, which means that I'm not going to play into the back row at all. Just got to be nice and careful here. And then, in fact, he is going to pick up a Starlight Road. So, you know, he's protected against the Heavy Storm that we just drew. And we're going to fire that Heavy Storm. He's going to hit us with a Starlight Road. And we'll Solemn Judgment to negate that. And that is going to be GG. So, very happy to have gotten out of game 1 against this deck. Now all we have to do is, like, stick a Decree in one of the next 2 games. Looks like with this opening hand, it's going to have to be in game number 3 because Banisher of the Radiance is absolutely devastating into a hand that has not only Foolish Burial, but also Hidden Armory. These are just completely bricked. Twister is no help here, and neither is Dandelion. I'm not really getting anything in the graveyard, so I'm definitely behind. I'm looking to, you know, pick up some sort of out, but I'm pretty sure we didn't side in Lightning Vortex or Book of Moon for whatever reason, and yeah, we're definitely really behind. We do pick up an MST, but that's just going to get hit with the breaker. We'll chain and pop the back row, but, you know, who cares? It's torrential. So we're taking really big damage here, and now we absolutely need to find something, anything, to let us live another turn. He's going to set his Mirror Force, and we pick up a Super Solar Nutrient. That's going to be no help, so let's go on in to game number 3. Here, really hoping we can get something going, at least a little bit. And things are looking good. We have at least Lonefire. That's not the most high-octane play against most decks, but, you know, here we're just facing off against Stun. So sticking a Gigaplant is going to be something that's actually difficult for them to out, especially backed up with this Raigeki and this Solemn Judgment. So I'm pretty content here. He's going to go ahead and go Krebins set 2. We're fine with that. We're going to draw. We do pick up an Upstart Goblin. I'm going to go ahead and use it, and we do get a perfect draw of Supervise. So here I'm going to go ahead and Raigeki Break to discard the Copy Plant. We want to be able to bring it back with the Supervise without losing a card from hand. So this is most value, and then it's a coin flip. I'm okay because he has 2 sets. Raigeki Break handles one of them, and then Solemn Judgment will handle whatever the other one is. So seems pretty good to me. Here we're just going to go ahead and combo. We have a Supervise, so we will go ahead and make our Power Tool Dragon, bring back our Gigaplant, and then go for 2 Supervise and a Mark of the Rose, hoping to hit the Supervise. We do hit the Supervise here, so we will make our second Power Tool Dragon, bring back the Gigaplant, and then now we are looking to hit that Mark of the Rose so we can clear the Krebins out of the way, and we do manage to do that. So we're going to also put a Titanial on field, so we can play around any deep prisons or anything in the background without having to waste our Solemn Judgment. We'll steal the Krebins, and that is going to be good for GG. So our opponent very politely admits defeat, and that is going to be our first win of the season. Let's jump into our second matchup and see how this one goes. This is from a fan of the channel who immediately hits me with the GigaVise incoming. I love running into you guys on ladder. Everyone, you know, if I get recognized, I've never had a bad game against someone that recognizes me. I think everyone is just like, they knows that we're just here to have a good time. So we're going to start off this turn. I'm going to Gold Sark for Lonefire and for Miracle Fertilizer, and then I do decide to hold off. I don't want to commit necessarily to the field because I'm not going to be able to get like a full big combo off, and because I have the Heavy Storm, I'm content waiting, just you know, maybe repping a Gores, hoping that he's not going to be able to kill us. And then I see him normal summon the Swap Frog, and I'm like, great, I get another turn. This is going to be absolutely fantastic. So we take the 1,000, picks the Swap Frog back up, puts a Dupe Frog onto the field, passes to us, and we get a perfect draw with the Super Solar Nutrient. So now we can go ahead and use the Hidden Armory and discard the Dandelion, and we are going to have a full combo. So we'll go Lonefire, get our 2 tokens up, Lonefire, tribute itself, into the second Lonefire, into the Gigaplant, Super Solar Nutrient, into the Copy Plant, copy Gigaplant's level, get our Power Tool Dragon off for that guaranteed Supervised Search. Our opponent even says 100 does round up to 100, which is so true, King. So we will put that Supervise on Gigaplant and just go directly into Titanial here. Our opponent's at 10k, so we're not killing him this turn anyways. We'll attack with the Titanial over the Dupe Frog to get in for big damage. We see him pick up a Flip-Flop Frog, which of course is pretty scary. We're going to punch in for 2300 and then not attack choosing to play our Gores just a little bit. He's going to Giant Trunade, forcing us to pick that Supervise up. That's not the worst thing, considering that we do have that Miracle Fertilizer coming next turn, so I'm not really complaining here. He's going to Brain Control to try and take our Titanial. Of course, we will negate that. I guess he just didn't want us to have an additional negate. Now he's at least gotten the Gigaplant off the field. He's going to set the Flip-Flop Frog and pass. We are going to draw a second Miracle Fertilizer, which is a little bit gratuitous if you ask me. But we are just going to Fert, equip the Supervise, summon out our Gigaplant, summon out our Nettles, go for a Red Dragon Archfiend so we can attack into the Treeborn Frog and clear the Flip-Flop Frog without flipping it face up. Gigaplant comes back, and this is going to be game damage. If we run into any problems, we could extend a little further with the second Fert, but our opponent is going to scoop it up, and we're going to go right into game number 2. And here we go. We'll start off with a not the best hand here. We could definitely get something going. Trunade is not the best against Forgs. I didn't see quite enough. I wasn't sure if it was Forgs or if it was Hero Frogs. We do have Lightning Vortex. I usually don't put Lightning Vortex against Forgs, but let's see if it comes in handy here. He's summoning out the Swap Frog, and then he is going to put a Substitute into the graveyard. He will activate Salvage to get that Substitute and the Reborn back. So he's found his way to Substitute right at the beginning. He is going to he returned Swap Frog to hand and normal summon the Treeborn Frog, normal summon the Substitute. I see. And then specialed out the second Swap Frog. So he's going to go into a nice little soft dupe block as well as a Flip-Flop Frog. So this loses again to Red Dragon Archfiend, I just want to point out. But I guess he's not worried about that. We pick up a Lonefire Blossom, which is a really fantastic draw. Once again, we're upstarting twice. Here we do find a Heavy Storm, which is not so great because he chose not to set the Mirror Force. We're forced to Lightning Vortex here. We can't let the Substitute stick around. We hope that he doesn't have Avarice. Of course, with the benefit of hindsight, we can see that he does. So he is going to be able to keep playing. So he's going to bring back the Treeborn Frog. Then he's going to go ahead and fire the Avarice. We don't have a DD Crow or anything to stop it. So he's going to get that full reset, put all those Substitutes back in his deck. And he does manage to draw a Dupe Frog and a Raigeki Break. So he's got some back row going. He's going to flip up the Flip-Flop Frog, poke in for 1500. And then set the Flip-Flop Frog back and actually return the Treeborn Frog to hand. A little bit different. I guess he's wanting to discard that off of Raigeki Break, and then maybe we get greedy with the DD Crow on the Treeborn Frog. That makes a lot of sense to me. So not setting the Mirror Force as well because he wants to be summoning back Treeborn Frog. Here we're going to pick up a Gold Sark, which it's all right. Can't complain about Gold Sark here. We're going to go ahead and Foolish Burial the Dandelion. I decide, we need to start putting some pressure onto the board, so we're going to go Lonefire, tribute the other Lonefire, or tribute the token for the second Lonefire, and then get out a Gigaplant. I am going to go Giga over Swap Frog, and then Lonefire Blossom, just to get the Flip-Flop Frog off of the field. I know I'm going to lose my my Gigaplant, but hey, that's okay. I also used Gold Sark for Miracle Fertilizer. I think that's going to go really well with the Trunade. So here our opponent picks up a Gores, which is pretty good for him. He's going to summon back that Treeborn Frog, bring out a Caius, banishing one of our Lonefire Blossoms and attacking into the other. So we've got a clear board. We've got to survive for a turn. We do pick up a Threatening Roar, so I'm like, okay, good. We've at least bought ourselves another turn. He has that Mirror Force set, so he's not bringing any Treeborns out. He's just going to poke at us for 2400. We don't even have to use our Threatening Roar. He'll set a Dupe Frog and then pass it to us. We get a fantastic draw. That is a Supervise, just a perfect pickup. I do decide to Trunade first here just because I'm worried about another Raigeki Break or something like that. And then I'm going to fire the Fertilizer, bring back Lonefire Blossom, and then go ahead and go into Gigaplant from our deck, equip the Supervise, bring back Copy Plant, and then we are going to go for Power Tool Dragon, bring back Gigaplant with Supervise, Power Tool Dragon activates. Let's see if we can hit that 66% roll, and in fact we do, so we'll get our Supervise out, and then we'll bring back Lonefire, go ahead and tribute Lonefire for Titanial. Titanial runs over Caius, we attack the set. It does look like it is a Dupe Frog, so he gets the Flip-Flop Frog back in his hand, and we're going to swing in for 2300. He does drop the Gores on us, but thankfully we have a Threatening Roar to protect our board for next turn. So I'm feeling pretty good at this point. He does pick up a Salvage, which is going to get him back to Substitute, so that's really excellent for him. Shout out to our opponent. Finding our way back to Substitute is always good. He gets a Swap Frog as well. So he's going to go ahead and try and build a little bit of a board here. He's going to put 2 swaps on the field. He's going to get a Unifrog out and just try and set him up in a position to swing. We are, of course, going to Threatening Roar to stop any attacks. In phase 2, he is going to put a Death Frog on the field instead of a Unifrog, just a little bit stronger. Then return the Swamp Frog and set the Flip-Flop Frog. Here he does make a mistake. He's going to put the Gores in defense, so now he is going to be vulnerable to a, what do you call it? To a Red Dragon Archfiend, but I think we have a slightly different plan. So we're going to pick up another Gold Sarcophagus. Not the best draw, not the worst, doesn't really matter, doesn't affect things a ton. Before we do anything, we're going to fire our Power Tool Dragon to see what we can pick up. And we do pick up that DDR of the 2/3 roll, which is just perfect. So we'll go ahead for Giga Plant and then bring back the Copy Plant and go for a Black Rose Dragon. Just nice, simple, straightforward board clear. And that's going to deal with the Flip-Flop Frog. That's going to deal with all of his monsters and his back row as well. We had Titanial still up if he had a Raigeki break to interrupt it. But of course, he did have Mirror Force. If he had Torrential, I'm fine with Torrential going off too. That's kind of accomplishing the same thing. So here we're just going to get our Giga Plant back, normal summon it, bring out Titanial, and then we're going to put Lonefire on the field, which could just summon Nettles, and that's going to be game. So this was a pleasant game. I think I was being a little dramatic. It's not all terrible. So let's keep walking through the games we played earlier today. This next match up here is going to be against another duelist here. So we played against Forgs, which I was happy to play against. That's like a real deck, and then this macro stun. So, you know, 50-50 on like exciting, fun Yu-Gi-Oh! But this looks like Gravekeepers with Solidarity and Viruses. So this is just going to be an annoying one. I can already tell. He goes right into our Brick hand, flipping the Spy, dropping the Necro Valley, summoning out Descendant, summoning out Breaker. So hitting in just for a ton of damage. And we pick up another Mark of the Rose, which is going to be no help. So I side into my Decrees, my Twister, my MST, all that good stuff, and thankfully we do draw a much better hand here. Gold Sarking for the Lonefire, discarding the Dandelion, always a fantastic way to start, especially with the Fertilizer. We're holding our Upstart Goblin to try and get something a little bit better. So we'll go ahead and Power Tool Dragon here. Of course, we're not going to miss, so we get a Supervise off. I Upstart there before I use the Giga Plants effect, just because I'm not sure I want to go for Stardust or if I want to go for Titanial. Not really 100% sure there. So I do decide to just go for the Titanial. I've got the Judgment, so I'm not worried about a Lightning Vortex. Let's see what he has. He does draw into the Deck Devi. Interesting, he decided to keep those in. He's going to set the Spy and then set that Deck Devi, pass it back to us. We pick up a second Miracle Fertilizer, so I'm feeling like we're in a fantastic position. I'm going to go for a second Giga Plant, which off of the Lonefire. Then we're going to use Power Tool Dragon's effect. Probably should have used Power Tool first, if we're being honest. What can I say? And then we're just going to normal summon the Giga Plant, bring back the Lonefire, go into Nettles here. Now we can put Stardust Dragon on the field, put everything in attack, and then Giga Plant is also going to bring back the Nettles, which of course I can't use Giga Plant under Necro Valley, folks. So we attack the Spy with our Titanial. And we'll kill the one Spy, but he brings out a second one, and we don't have anything there for it. So probably should have Synchro Summoned into like a Brute Drago or something like that. But, you know, what can I say? I didn't. So here he's going to put the Spy into attack position, equip, well, not equip, but activate a Solidarity. So it's going to be 2,500. That is going to get the Giga Plant off the field. I cannot use Supervise to bring it back because we are under Necro Valley. He's going to Terraforming for another Necro Valley just to thin out the deck. Then he's going to set that very scary Eradicator Epidemic Virus. So bad news for us. We are going to go ahead and start off with the Power Tool Dragon. Of course, he lets that through very wisely. And then after we've added another spell to our hand, we're just going to go ahead and try and swing. Now that we're trying to swing, he's going to go ahead and fire the Eradicator, and we are going to have to say no to that with a little bit of a Solemn Judgment. So we'll swing in for big damage with all of our monsters. He's at 9,000, so he's going to live just a little bit, just barely on 200 life points, and he's going to need a really good draw to get himself out of this. We're going to Gold Sark for Trunade just in case, and Bottomless is no help. So let's go into game 3 against this nonsense deck. Definitely feeling like the withered Wojak Doomer out here, especially because he's got a Royal Tribute. He found his way to not 1, but 2 Necro Valleys. So he's going to go ahead and set his whole hand and fire the Royal Tribute, which really hurts. We're losing both a Nettles and a Lonefire Blossom. So Royal Tribute, not always the best against us, but here it's definitely really good. So we're going to have to try and claw our way out of this. That Trunade is going to do a lot to help us. We'll start off with a hidden armory, and we are going to mill a Supervise, which is unfortunate, but I do decide that we're going to need the Mark of the Rose and the DDR combo to get us out of this. You know, we just need him to put a monster face up on the field, then we can Trunade to get the Necro Valley out of there, and then Mark of the Rose and combo from there with the DDR. So that's the plan. Let's see if he cooperates. He is going to draw a Dark Elf, which I think is pretty funny. It's you know, it looks like it's just another way, you know, under Solidarity, he can use it with Eradicator, and he can just directly deck Devi with it. So I think that is pretty funny. He is going to have to pay 1,000, and that life points is going to get us a little closer to where we need to be, but we're definitely taking big damage here. I know his last card is Necro Valley, so when we draw Supervise, I'm thinking, ooh, okay, you know, we were in business before, but now we're in really, really good shape. So we are going to go ahead and fire the Giant Trunade. He doesn't have any way to chain Eradicator, which is very, very good for us, and you know, we're going to go ahead and start our combo. So we'll Mark of the Rose, banishing the Lonefire Blossom, summoning out the Descendant, and then we will use the DDR, discarding the Super Solar Nutrient to go for Lonefire into second Lonefire into our Gigaplant, and then we can Gigaplant, and I do decide to get a little bit greedy here, and I'm going to go ahead and go for Copy Plant. I just want to, you know, really just try and do as much damage as possible, close things out maybe. But unfortunately for us, we are going to run into a little bit of a roadblock, and we miss the roll here because we already had one Supervised milled. So, you know, another Mark of the Rose, that's pretty good. But DDR is definitely the worst of the mill options here. So we're just going to have to do our best here. I still have a normal summon, so I'll go ahead and normal summon the Gigaplant. I do go for Copy Plant here, and I'm going to make a Stardust Dragon to have a little bit stronger of a board against something like Mirror Force, because I know we're going to have to contest perhaps on the future turn. And we're going to crash the Descendant into the Dark Elf just to get that off the field. I'm okay taking a little bit more life point damage. And then we are going to run over both of his monsters and pass. So not the strongest board in the world, not the weakest board in the world, but when he just draws another Royal Tribute, that is going to be absolutely no help. He does activate it just to see what equip we got. I guess he just decides that he values that information. So we're going to draw, and we do pick up a Heavy Storm, which is absolutely perfect. So we'll clear away all three of those back row, and then we're going to be perfectly free to activate Gigaplant and win the duel. So 3-0 now. And folks, you know, now I'm thinking, oh gosh, you know, obnoxious decks, nonstop. What are we doing against this? Really, really feels bad. And here we open a, you know, it's almost a good hand. It's one of those classic Gigaplant almost hands, and our opponent's just going to start off milling with Solar Recharge, so already off to a good start. We mill the Gores, which I'm happy to see, but he is milling a Wolf, and then he's going to normal summon an Arcus as well, which feels bad with that Mark of the Rose in our hand. We draw a Nettles, which is going to be absolutely no help. I could summon the Nettles and crash here, but I decide I want to try and hit an Armory, find my way to a really good mill, but no such luck. So we're just going to set the Solemn Judgment and pass. He picks up a Lila, which is clear our judgment. And, you know, I don't want to pay half my life points. It's too dangerous. So he is going to swing in with the Arcus. He's going to swing in with the Wolf. And then he is going to mill 5 in end phase. And wouldn't you know it, he mills a second Wolf. And we pick up a DDR, and we're just going to scoop. And while we're siding, our opponent does go ahead and hit us with the very, very polite thing to say, which is, that's how you own a noob fast. Very cool. So we were just the noob there, and we did just get owned. And let's see if we can claw our way out of this insurmountable hole that we find ourselves in. So fortunately, we're going to go ahead and Lonefire into Gigaplant, equip it with a Supervise, bring back the Lonefire, summon out the Copy Plant, and let's go for a Power Tool Dragon here. Power Tool Dragon is an easy choice to make with that Mark of the Rose already in hand, and we do hit the 66%. A little bit of justice in the universe. If our opponent wants to say nasty things like that, you know, you can't really complain when we draw. And what I could complain about is the fact that he milled 4 lightsworns, but fortunately, no JD to be found. So he's just going to be summoning an Arcus and passing. I see that this clearly means he has Honest in hand. So he's going to mill in end phase, and then we are going to draw into a Lightning Vortex, and Folks, it's as simple as that. We'll activate Power Tool Dragon. No reason for him to, use the Herald of Orange Light on that. He's only got one shot. So we're going to get another Supervise to hand, which is fantastic. We're going to fire the Lightning Vortex, and on the spot, our opponent is going to quit. Yeah, don't say obnoxious things like that's how you own a noob fast, because, God has a sense of humor, I guess, and I guess I'm just gonna be laughing at it. So I'll show you the next two matches we played. Just taking you through my my ladder grinding experience. Maybe I'll post every single match I play as I grind my way back up to a respectable rating. We get another great opening hand here, so we're gonna go ahead and fire the Super Solar Nutrient to get a Gigaplant out. We'll use Supervise. Go ahead and bring out Copy Plant. Go for Power Tool Dragon. Get the Gigaplant out. And then we are going to use Power Tool Dragon, and unfortunately for us, we are going to miss. So I decided that best course of action is just going to go into Titanial and swing. We do bump into a Spirit Reaper, and I also want to shout out our opponent here. Purple Midnight has been a subscriber all the way since the beginning of the channel, and if you've been here a long time, I really appreciate you. If you've been here a short time, I appreciate you too. Here he does have some excellent counterplay into our board. He's going to go for the Magical Android. We have to stop that, so that way we're not getting hit by a Black Rose. But then he can continue playing by special summoning Dark Grepher, discarding a Caius, and that's going to be 2 Darks in grave. So now all he has to do is go ahead and activate Grepher's effect, discarding a Caius to put a Mally into the graveyard, and then he can just activate Mally immediately, summon it out, and that is 1, 2, 3 Darks in grave. So really going to be in a fantastic position here. Summoning out a Colossal Fighter. Fortunately, there's a Warrior in grave, so he's not going to get the crash, but that is going to be enough to get over Titanial. Then he can run over the Power Tool Dragon and our token. Main phase 2, he can just go ahead and destroy our Gigaplant. So that's exactly what he's going to do. So he'll banish that Caius, we lose our Gigaplant, and now we are definitely on the back foot. Another Hidden Armory is going to be a really, really good draw for us, though. So let's see how we go ahead and handle this. We're going to fire 1 Hidden Armory to get a DDR. And then we're going to fire the second Hidden Armory, and we do mill a Dandelion, which is a really nice mill. It's just going to give us a little bit of a cushion. I'm thinking that that is fantastic. I'll be able to get a Supervise and then even wait a turn before using the DDR. So that way we can use it with the Supervise. We're going to steal the Colossal Fighter to get the Dad off the field. And then we are going to pass back to our opponent. I feel pretty safe with these 2 tokens up. He's going to draw into a return, which is definitely a powerful draw. Pretty scary for us, but at the very least, he's not going to get anything off immediately. He summons Stratos just to have another body to clear tokens, but it looks like he doesn't have any heroes left in deck. He's already gone through the Mally and the Prodigy as well. So we'll take 2,900 from Colossal Fighter, but he's not able to out the Mark of the Rose. That feels pretty good. And we do draw into a second DDR. Always feels bad to have to discard it, but I really can't complain when I'm getting to summon a Gigaplant safely. So we'll go ahead and equip the Gigaplant with Supervise, use its effect to go for a Copy Plant here. And then we are just going to keep things nice and simple and go right for Black Rose Dragon, chaining Supervise. Or rather, chaining Black Rose to the Supervise. He'll check his next card, see that it's a bottomless, that's no help. And that is going to be GG Game 1 against this Diva Hero opponent. Now, folks, we really run into trouble here. Get to see the Decree, but, we've also got Foolish Burial and Super Solar Nutrient. So pretty good hand here, but let's see how we deal with it. We're going to go ahead and get an Upstart Goblin off. We do find a Dandelion, which is a nice draw. We're going to Gold Sark right away here. I decide to go for Hidden Armory, and we're just going to set the Dandelion and set the Decree. I don't want to combo off until after the Dandelion resolves. So he's going to go ahead and get a Diva off. So he'll go Diva into Gilman, and he's just going to go ahead and attack with both of those. Very smart. That's going to leave us with just 1 token remaining. And then main phase 2, he'll go ahead and make that Allied Justice Cataster. So that's going to be our turn. We are going to draw into an MST, which feels nice. I'll use that right now on the back row. That way I don't have to flip the Decree, and it could still present a little bit of a threat. I do decide, all right, let's go ahead and start comboing. So we go for Super Solar Nutrient into Lonefire, into the second Lonefire, into Gigaplant, And then we are going to go ahead and activate the fertilizer, bring back the Lonefire Blossom, and then we'll Foolish Burial for the second Dandelion, getting our 2 tokens. Now we'll use the Lonefire Blossom to turn one of the tokens into a Copy Plant. Copy Plant becomes level 6, along with the other token, makes us a Power Tool Dragon. And we are going to get our guaranteed Supervise. We'll activate that, go into Lonefire again, and then here we're going to go for Stardust Dragon, and we get a Gigaplant back on the field. So we're going to attack the face down first. I'm thinking it's a Fossil Dyna. It is a Snowman Eater, so we're going to have to just chain Stardust, and now we can't attack into the Catastor just yet. But this is a pretty strong board. I'm feeling all right. No Darks in the graveyard yet, so I'm not too worried about Dark Arm Dragon. He does draw into a Gale here, however, which is pretty fantastic. He's just going to go ahead and activate that Gale, deal with our Stardust. Now that is gone and on the field. We'll take 50 points of damage. And then what is he going to decide to use the Catastor on? Tough choice here, I do gotta say. We're getting the Fertilizer back, or the Hidden Armory, next turn. So even attacking into the Lonefire might be good. He does decide to do the Power Tool Dragon. Can't really argue with that. You know, we'd have to normal summon the Gigaplant to get it onto the field. And then he is going to Dark End Dragon here. And that's going to deal with the Lonefire and the Fert. So we're feeling a little behind. This is also good, because if we clear the Dark End Dragon, that is going to be the 3rd Dark for Dad. So we do draw into a second Hidden Armory, which is going to be an absolutely fantastic draw. So we'll think for a little bit, but what I do decide to go for here, we're going to just normal summon the Gigaplant and then summon out a Titanial and attack over the Dark End Dragon. I think, you know, we have the Titanial up, so that is going to get in the way of Dad. Not the easiest thing to out. He's going to need quite a bit of combo pieces to really punch through all of that. But he is going to go ahead and summon the Dad and swing over our Gigaplant, and then use Dad's effect to banish the Catastor, try and banish our back row. We're going to protect it, of course. So Dad did trade pretty effectively with our entire board, but he doesn't have any real follow-up. So he's just going to set that Mystic Tomato. Of course, we don't know what it is. We are going to draw, we're going to fire our first Hidden Armory to pick up a Mark of the Rose, and then would you believe me if I told you we're using second Hidden Armory to pick up a DDR? So kind of dependent on my opponent putting a monster on the board and not attacking directly, but let's see how we get out of this. Our opponent is going to pick up a Twister, which is just a fantastic thing. You know, he's got Twister instead of Dust Tornado, so not losing at all to the Decree, and Twister is going to be really good into DDR. So he's going to punch us for 14. We'll flip the Decree on end phase, and we do draw into Supervise, so now I'm feeling really good. We fire the Mark of the Rose, try and take the Tomato. Lets that through, but of course he's going to Twister on the DDR. So we're just going to be swinging with the Tomato and then passing back. He is going to be in a fantastic position now, drawing a Lure. He's going to Diva first, so he doesn't hit another Diva off of that. Then he's going to make a Bryanak to put that Decree back in our hands. That's going to keep us, you know, off the field with any Lonefire shenanigans. It's going to give the Mask of Restrict at least one turn to be good. And then he's going to Synchro Summon 8 into Colossal Fighter. So big problem for us, very scary. He's going to swing in for 2,900, and we are definitely in trouble here. We do pick up a Book of Moon, so maybe we can live a little bit longer. He picks up a Miracle Fusion, so he's got a lot of threats. If he just finds a hero, he also has that Caius in hand, and he does decide not to distribute summon it and try and win the game on the spot, very graciously giving us one more turn. We do pick up a Lightning Vortex, so we can clear the Colossal Fighter and you know, maybe survive as well with the Book of Moon. He's going to find his way to a Spirit Reaper, so he'll go ahead and punch us for 300. It's not quite game, so we get to hold on to our Book of Moon for one more turn, but when we draw a Gigaplant, that is going to be GG. So forced to go into game 3 here. I'm not feeling great about that. Definitely would not have been my choice. And I'm feeling especially terrible because we pick up 2 Gigaplants, and I'm thinking, all right, you know, I guess the day 1 win streak is over already. 2 Gigaplants, 2 Book of Moon. This is going to be tough. So I do just set the Raigeki Break. I'm thinking, okay, we can Raigeki Break, discard a Gigaplant, bring it back with Fertilizer. Maybe that'll be something. He's going to go ahead and summon Spirit Reaper, and we're going to have to use our Raigeki Break immediately. We can't have him ripping cards out of our hand. We just can't, folks. So he's just going to set 1, pass it back to us. We pick up a Nettles, and I'm saying, okay, you know, this is progress. Nettles is at least a tuner with our Gigaplants, so we can do some like Brute Drago action. He's going to bottomless our Gigaplant. We will go ahead and Book of Moon it because I need that fertilizer to be around for the future. That's kind of our way out of this bad situation. He's also just off to a slow start himself, so maybe we can get out of this yet. So he's got a lot of options in hand. Let's see what he goes for. He decides to play aggressively with the Deep Sea Diva. I think that's definitely the correct play. And he's going to try and attack over our set monster, our set Gigaplant with that Gillman. So we're going to use our second Book of Moon to set the Gillman. And he's not going to be able to synchro summon, so we're keeping Catastrophe off the field, and our Gigaplant is going to be well. We'll pick up an MST, which will be nice to hold on to in case he presents another threats. And we're just going to go ahead and normal summon the Nettles, attack over both of his monsters to get them off the board. And then we will go ahead and make a black Brute Draco, which is just going to be the strongest, stickiest thing in this situation. So we've got our black Brute Draco on the field, and we're just going to pass. That fertilizer is still live should we need it in the future. We have a Gigaplant to discard off of Brute Draco's effect. And now this was really funny here. My wife came in while I was playing this game, and I asked her, I was like, what do you think? Should I use Brute Draco's effect or MST here? And she said, oh, definitely use Brute Draco's effect. Hey, she was right. That dealt with the bottomless, and we got to keep our MST. And then I said, before I attacked, I was like, what do you think the set monster is? Is it a Morphing Jar number 2? Is it a Raikou, or is it a Snowman Eater? What do you think? She said, oh, it's definitely a Snowman Eater. And, maybe she is the next GigaVise champion, because she was right on both counts. So we're going to attack into the Snowman Eater. That is a mandatory effect, so it'll destroy our Brute Draco. We'll get our Gigaplant onto the field. I am going to go ahead and punch in for 24. I have the read that there's no Gores. And then main phase 2, we will bring back the second Gigaplant. We still have our normal summon available, so we will normal summon it, bring back Nettles, and then go into second Brute Draco here. This is the kind of situation where having the second Brute Draco is really, really strong. So our opponent's going to pick up a Stratos. Not the most useful thing. He's just going to set the Sangan and pass it back to us. We do pick up a Titanial, which is an absolutely fantastic draw. We're not going to need it, though, because we're just going to special summon Gigaplant back, normal summon it, bring back Nettles, go into a Stardust to play around any type of, Fossil Dyna shenanigans. And then we are going to go ahead and attack, and our opponent is going to give us the win, showing us that it was just a Sangan, and that was it. So GG, shout out to our opponent for being a very pleasant, wonderful interaction. Going over these games, I gotta say, like, maybe laddering isn't so bad. Maybe I have a good time after all. So I did play one more game, and this one is more on theme with the video. I'll show you what happens here. So we are going to go ahead and roll. We do lose the die roll here, so already starting off on the back foot, but let's see how we do here. Looks like we're up against Machina, and he's opened with the orange gadget, so he's going to set 3. We are having combo with Copy, Super Solar, and Supervise. So we'll fire the Giant Trunade. He'll chain a Jar of Greed to draw 1 card. That's perfectly fine with us. We're just going to go Lonefire off of the SSN into second Lonefire, into Gigaplant, equip Supervise, make a Power Tool Dragon, and let's see if we can hit that 2/3 roll. If we do and get a Supervise here, we have enough for a game push. Setting 3, there's easy read for no Gores. So our opponent's going to scoop. Clearly, he's privy that once we get that first 2/3 roll, the second roll doesn't matter because we either hit the Mark of the Rose or the Supervise. Either way, we're putting 8,000 damage on board. Here we open another pretty good hand. We've got Heavy, we've got Lonefire. Can we find our way to Supervise? Looks like no. That's going to be a Gigaplant, so we're going to go ahead and draw. I do pick up a Dandelion here, so I don't want to go ahead and just immediately commit. I kind of want to see what we're dealing with here. So I'm just going to go ahead and set the Dandelion. Our opponent's going to draw a Plague Spreader Zombie, who's got Caius, which he can't tribute summon. He's got Fortress and Force, and then Plague as well. So he's going to go ahead and Raikou, popping our Dandelion and milling 3. No real relevant mills there. And then he is going to decide here, best play is just going to be to normal summon the Plague Spreader Zombie, attack with both, and then go into an Armory Arm. Very cool. So we're going to draw. We do pick up a Decree. I'm saying, okay, maybe we can hold off with the heavy, with the push, but I do decide to heavy now because I want to get that Lonefire on the field and summon out a Gigaplant or a Titanial. He does have the Starlight Road, which is very unfortunate. So now we're really kind of staring down the barrel of trouble here. If he just puts a few more monsters on board, that is going to be GG for us. He picks up a Torrential, and he decides not to commit anything more into the board and just swing in for big damage. I gotta say, I like it here, folks. So then he's gonna set the torrential, and he makes a critical misplay. I think here, every time, you don't want to leave an armory arm just sitting on the field. That is so easy to exploit, but I suppose he probably felt safe with heavy already gone and sticking the Mask of Restrict. We are going to have the very hard punish, flipping the decree, drawing a Supervise for turn to boot. So now all we have to do is go for Lonefire into the second Lonefire into our Gigaplant, and then we just have to equip it with Supervise and then go for that second Lonefire. Here we go for Copy Plant, and then we're looking for Mark of the Rose here. Easy line for victory. We summon the Power Tool Dragon in defense, just in case things go wrong here. It's going to be a good wall, and we're not going to need an attack with this plan anyways. And we do hit the Mark of the Rose, so now all we have to do is banish the Lonefire. We steal the Armory Arm. Since it's on our field, we can equip it to Stardust onto our field to get the burn damage. And then we just DDR for Lonefire, and our opponent scoops because we can just easily go for Nettles and Colossal Fighter and win the game. So just quits, runs away on the spot. So GG to our opponents, GG to everyone I faced. Undefeated so far. Let's see if we can keep it up. I'll give you guys an update tomorrow. Anyways, this has been Dionysus, aka Young Puds, coming at you guys with new season, new ladder content, ladder climbing, whatever you want to see. I'll see you guys tomorrow with some more shameless hypebeast GigaVise content.